All right, let's call this meeting to order. Roll call, please.
Councilman Sachsenheimer.
Here.
Councilwoman Cleveland. Here. Councilman Jackson.
Nope.
Councilman Evans.
Here.
Councilwoman Shivers.
Here.
Councilman Nelson.
Present.
Councilwoman Campbell.
Here.
Councilwoman Gagne. You have a quorum.
Thank you. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I'd like to recite our values statement. We uphold our values by being an example of effective municipal government through building a professional team of city officials and staff dedicated to serving the residents of Normandy with integrity and transparency. Can I have a motion to approve the agenda, please?
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Can I have a motion, please, to approve the minutes of the May 14 regular city council meeting?
I'll make a motion.
We have a motion. Is there a second?
I second.
Any corrections? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes carried, motion passes. Can I have a motion for approval of the minutes of the May 23, 2024 City Council workshop meeting?
So moved.
Is there a second?
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Ms. Kiana, are there folks that want to come to the podium and speak?
Yes, Mayor. Daisy Lomax.
Good evening, everyone.
Good
Good
evening.
evening.
My name is Daisy Lomax. I reside at 7252 Normandy Place. And I am following up with a nuisance that I had approached back in November about the rooster that's at 7249 St. Andrew. And I was told back in November that Glen Echo at that time was not part of Normandy, but it was coming up for a vote and that it would probably be merging with Normandy in February. So I've been waiting patiently for a response to address this. And not only is it a nuisance at 4:30, 4:45 in the morning, it cock-a-doodle-doos all day long and it disturbs everyone. But the bigger problem is that it flies in other people's yard, mainly mine and the neighbor next door. She's not here, she's sick today. And we don't know if the rooster has bird flu disease. We don't know if it's a fighting rooster. I am surrounded by neighbors that have small lap dogs that the neighbors allow their pets in the backyard. It would be a real shame for the rooster to get to one of the pets and kill it. Also, the first time it got in my neighbor's yard, it came out through her side and went in the park, Teardrop Park, which we have children riding their bikes around. I would hate for it to bite someone's child. So I would like for it to be addressed before something bad happens. So it has gotten in my yard twice, it has gotten in my neighbor's yard twice, and I don't know about any other neighbors. So that's my comment.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Susan Piazza.
Good evening, Mayor Beckman, Council. Thanks so much.
Good evening.
Good
There's no
evening.
microphone there. Thank you
No,
so much
there's
for your
not.
time. I'm used to lecturing in church. I was slowed down. Anyway. Hey, I'm Susan Piazza with Free Public Services. I have my boss, Joey Dunlap, here, and coworker, Brandon. You know, we submitted a very competitive bid for your solid waste services for your residents, and I really just want to step up here and say thank you for that opportunity to bid. We sincerely hope we can be your next hauler here for the residents for recycling, trash, yard waste, and bulk service. I submitted a pretty lengthy bid. Hopefully you had a chance to review some of the other comments, et cetera, programs we have regarding safety for our drivers, just our commitment really to service, to providing the best service we can. We service over 36 other cities in the surrounding area, including another 12 in the 24/1 footprint, which of course you're familiar with. One thing I do want to add about Republic Service that I really think differentiates us from other haulers, there are many to choose from, but we have a charitable foundation that has been very active in the St. Louis market. And Republic Services in the last few years has donated through our foundation over $500,000 to not-for-profits in the St. Louis, the city of St. Louis County area. And that includes some larger grants to places such as the food court in Pagedale that went in, that Beyond Housing put in. We donated towards that. We donated to a charter school in the city, installing air conditioning in their school. And we are currently undergoing a project with Rebuilding Together, refinished, kind of re-updating the Wesley House, which is a pre-K through senior center in the city. So it's kind of a little secret, but it doesn't have to be. We provide small grants to not-for-profits as well as large grants funded through our corporate office. So we are a partner that is here to stay. This is our second largest market for Republic Services. We have over 190 trucks right there in Bridgeton, and not all residential, but we do a great job with the customers we have, and I certainly hope you'll consider us for your next hauler.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Ma'am, excuse me, what's your name?
Susan Piazza. Thank you.
Carrie Gannon,
Emily.
Dolores Harris,
Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
My name is Dolores Harris. I reside at 7700 Contour Drive. And the young lady from Republic somewhat addressed one of my concerns is when we consider a new waste management company to do our trash, make sure, I want the council to make sure that we get the services we previously had without incurring financial burdens. As I reiterated last month, we pay more for less services, when we shouldn't be paying more for less services. She did mention the bulk, that's like heavy trash, which we don't have anymore, which we had. We do get the recycle, but I was told last meeting that the council voted back in October not to collect limbs. And I thought that was not fair to the residents when we've always had that service, and nobody said that our chipper was down and out unless it got sold. So I didn't understand why we didn't have that service anymore, and the limbs lay at the curb for several months. I'm just trying to get an understanding and want the council not just to consider their particular ward, but encompass the whole Normandy, city of Normandy. We are a whole community. We're not just, this ward is one city, this ward is another city, this ward is another city. We only see you guys when it's time to vote. Nobody comes out to see what our needs are before it's time to vote. And I think that's an injustice to us, who, the majority of us, have been in this city for over 50 years. We've paid taxes for over 50 years. and we deserve for our city to stay a beautiful city. Like I said, I watched this city go from shit to Shinola, back to shit.
Thank you, Ms. Harris.
Kay Moore.
Hello, everyone. You'll see with your documents for today, I passed out a flyer. I have been incessantly sending, Mark will tell you, the longest biblical emails in reference to code violations, in particular trash. That flyer that you all have is a particular home on my street that we've called about, emailed about, sent pigeons about, sent faxes about, haven't had anything done. Reached out and was told that they were ticketed and fined over a week and a half ago. That stuff is still there. Again, always going to reiterate this. I understand you may be in Ward 4 or Ward 2 or Ward whatever, but again, this is a whole city. We need all of y'all. That's why I passed the flyer out, because y'all aren't getting the emails. It's ridiculous. Pardon my language. I need all y'all to get together to get on Sam's ass so Sam can get on Rich's ass. Because why are we paying all of this extra money and we're not getting any services? I was with her last month when the new gentleman that's over Public Works said, oh, well, you all voted in October to stop picking up limbs. That's very fair. But then, Mark, you said, oh, no, we didn't stop in October. You all didn't communicate it. I already don't have trust in the city, so I just have somebody not pay extra to have them come do it. We haven't had a circular that gives the city updates in over 2 years. So, ma'am, I remember you saying that you all were going to do a survey. We don't need a survey. We need bare bones basics done. And y'all don't have the time to be knocking on doors asking, what should we do? Do the bare minimum. We can't even get that done. Sam, I know you're here visiting, upping your resume, getting experience. Please try to do your job while you're here. I know you don't care the way we do because you don't even currently live here. This is really important to us. So I would say for the people who may be repeat offenders, pass them out a flyer. The ward person, y'all two get together, have a city person like myself. We'll walk flyers around with you. It's totally fine. We don't need a survey. Every month for the past 3 or 4 months, I've heard, I believe, Mr. Ellison get up here. He's very monotone, very cool, and talks about the level of debt that we have, an incessant growing amount of debt that you all agreed and approved for a, what is it called, a pay plan budget raise. Why would they be getting a raise and we don't even have $1,800 for street signs that's been missing for 6 years? Why would they be getting a raise when every month that man comes up here and says, we're in horrible financial shape, we're in a deficit, we're in a deficit? If you all remember, most places during the pandemic when everyone was having financial difficulty said, hey, no pay raises, no new hiring until we get back to balanced budget. I need somebody on this board to care about the longevity and sustainability of this city. Not just appearances first. You always know when shit's going crazy when it looks crazy. Please care about the entire city. We do not need a survey. We don't need to be giving them pay increases when they're not doing bare minimum. And then also, Mark, I talked to you about this years ago when Green was back in office. The plants up here. I said, I'll help do a beautification. Let's get 20 bucks together and we'll do one person's house, and the next weekend we can do somebody else's house. It looks like ghetto mafia on Natural Bridge. We have 3 planters that it looks like that we're responsible for apart from the fountain. I'll even throw in 20. Can we get 40 from the city? I'll bring the materials and the time. Do we have a watering? Like, if we plant, we all water daily to make sure it doesn't die? Like, it needs to look nice. It's just weeds now. Anybody can comment. I appreciate it.
Right now, we can't comment.
Do we have anything to water?
We don't have a watering truck. I will tell you, I watered one of those planters all summer last summer. I adopted one myself by the fountain.
So, quick question. I feel like I've seen some piping up in some of them. That's not,
That's only for the fountain.
oh wow.
Yeah.
Would it be possible for, since we have 3 people working under him now, if maybe in the morning or before they leave at the end of the day, if we get together and plant those planters, can they go around and give the girls a little quick drink? Is that a possibility?
There's all kinds of possibilities.
Okay.
I can't.
Let me know.
Thank you.
There's some more
That's it?
comments, yes.
Thank you. All right, report of officers. The only thing I've got to say is August 7th, Shakespeare in the Park at the corner of St. Anne and Augusta. They've approved the site and the show is on, so I encourage everybody to go. It should be a fun time. Should be a fun evening.
And what date is that?
That's on
July?
you know, it's August. August 7th, I think, is a Wednesday. Can somebody check that?
The location one more time?
August 7th.
The location.
The corner of St. Anne Lane and Augusta, that, where the nursing home used to be, that level lot right there. They're gonna bring a stage and it's gonna be a good show.
And Mark.
Yes, sir.
Shakespeare in the Park.
I have one thing. I've been getting calls about the trees from the school, Bermuda School. If there's any way someone can call Ferguson Flarson School District and have them trim their trees up. I stood in someone's driveway today and grabbed them like this. That's how low they are in personal property, not even counting the streets. So if someone could just talk to them, they've been great about keeping their grass cut and keeping everything up. I'm sure somehow they'll have it done. Thank you.
I was gonna say, don't we have bulk pickup with waste management?
We do, but
It's when,
yeah, it's not been.
they haven't been doing that.
Depends.
Right.
No, they charge you.
I apologize, Mayor. What did you say, Mr. Saxonheim, or what location is that?
It's
for the-
Bermuda Elementary School.
Okay,
It's in the Ferguson Flarson School District.
okay, thank you.
Also went back, and this is taken care of.
Oh,
Okay.
it's gone?
Yeah, I went back there today. I went back there last week. I go back there every week, twice a week. They did have a problem. They removed some of the stuff. I think I went back there one day this weekend with just a mattress and
Yeah, it
a
was
bed
just a
frame.
mattress sitting down,
And
yeah.
then I went back yesterday and that's all I
And
saw.
that's
So
gone,
this was
too.
last
Yeah.
night. So today I went by and all of this is gone.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, thank you.
Because when I went back, it was just a mattress and bed frames.
That was it. But
Yeah.
this other stuff might have happened after I looked at it yesterday. But then I went by when I got off work today about 3:30 and all of
And
this
all
is
of it
gone.
was gone.
Yeah.
Thank you. Tony, you got a report for us?
Well, I just wanna, well, you know, we was gonna talk about that, but just, touch base on vagrants in the park after dark. It seems like once the kids leave, and they know the kids, you know, they're playing baseball, so about 8 o'clock, everybody's leaving. That's when we have the vagrants start showing up after 8 o'clock. And we're talking 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 o'clock at night. It's like a regular Buck Rodney group point, so just wanna bring it to your attention, chief. And it's every night,
Thank you.
okay?
One more thing, Mark.
Go ahead.
Also, Chief, we want to talk about that it's a van that's always parked in the park, Hosel,
White van,
the black van or whatever that deal with the lady stalking or looking or whatever, the lady.
We're aware.
yeah.
Okay. And I had an incident with him this weekend, you know, so
If you have any
I'll
more
talk to you.
incidences with him, just give us a call.
Okay.
I don't know if you were able to determine he's not mentally well.
I understand that.
Yeah, call us,
I'll talk to you.
yeah.
Yeah, because he was sleeping in the park at one time,
Yeah. So we're talking.
about a year ago.
Okay,
All right, thank you.
Okay.
thank you. Ms. Ernestine, any reports from Ward 3?
So far, it's been okey dokey.
Good.
Yes, first of all, I'd like to thank Mrs. Harris and Mrs. Moore for coming up, and because I do feel the same way that you do as a citizen. I'm on the board, but I'm a citizen. I want to thank Susan Piazza, is that your name? Because I do work with the Wesley House with my chess program throughout the whole summer. Thank you for what you do there. And the last but not least, I want to thank Chief Sanders for our agency doing such a great job with that situation we had with that barricade situation. Because as you well know, as a city councilman, I've been here for 4 terms. If there's a fire, which was on Springdale several years ago. I'm there. There was a murder in Mr. Colley's place up there. I was there. Sanders knows it. And I was there in the last incident. So if there's anything going on in this city, negative or positive, I'm gonna try and be there. And because that's my job. So I just wanted to say that. And other than that, I'm fine until later. I have some other stuff to say later. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Ms. Yolanda?
The rooster situation is very much out of control. I mean, it's everywhere. One of the suggestions that I had, I don't know if Rick made contact, was to donate the rooster to St. Anne's, because they have chickens and roosters and everything. So
They don't have chickens.
I don't think they can
They don't
have
anymore?
roosters.
They have chickens, but not roosters.
Yeah, there are roosters allowed anywhere in the city.
But I'm sure, like, what's his name, Matt, I don't know what his name is or something. But their rooster is a problem. I have a dog, and I don't know if it's out, but it's been around a while.
Do we know who owns the rooster?
I've given the address.
Okay, okay.
I don't
Okay.
know if contact has been made, and I'm saying, like, this is not like it's happening multiple
Okay,
times now.
thank
so-
you.
There's a pending, a citation has been issued. They'll be appearing in municipal court.
So it would, yeah, it'd be nice to have it taken care of, because there are
Thank
kids
you.
out
Thank you.
riding their bikes and stuff.
All right. Sam, what do you have for us?
Oh yeah, Vicky's on Zoom.
Oh, Vicky, go ahead, please.
Hi, yeah. Sorry. I went to the 21 meeting on Monday of last week, and a lot of things they talked about were the apartments called Triton Point that will be going up on Hanley and University Drive. In the near future, there are probably about 400 apartments in a gated community. They're supposed to be affordable, and there are 1, 2, 3, and 4 bedroom apartments available. They are in unincorporated St. Louis County, not in Normandy. And that's all I had to say.
Thank you. Go ahead, Sam.
All right, we'll have our fiscal year 2025 budget workshop in July, the July workshop meeting. So right now I'm working with the departments to get the first draft of the budget together, and that's when we will have that workshop, and that will include a capital improvement plan as well. At the July meeting, we'll have our last budget amendment for the year, adjusting to our expenditures and revenues to what they actually will be at the end of the year. Right now, we're currently working with our new insurance brokers to apply for new property and casualty insurance, as well as new workers' comp insurance. Depending on how that goes, that's going to massively impact the budget, depending on what our premiums are going to be. And we have a RFQ out for Parkchester Park. The responses are due on June 24th. The Parks Board Advisory Committee will review that at their July meeting, which is before the council July meeting. And hopefully we can engage a consultant to help us come up with a plan and help us get grants for restoring Parkchester Park and making it safe and making it an actual park that people can go and enjoy. A couple of items just kind of responding to the rooster has been sighted. We've made contact with the owner. They're telling us that they're going to get rid of it, but we've sighted them and we'll continue to sight them until it's gone. And then as far as just some clarifications about our current trash service, and not to get confused with the trash talk that we'll have later on, Waste Management does provide bulk pickup services. They're supposed to provide it once a week, but it is recommended that you call ahead to schedule the service. And there's certain items that are over weight limit. Appliances are not included in that. But if you call ahead with Waste Management, they will pick it up at no additional charge. If you are charged additionally, let us know, because they may be violating the contract. But if it's over a certain weight limit, or if it's a appliance, that may be a reason for an additional charge.
Well, I know for a fact.
No, ma'am, that is not how.
Two items.
Yeah, I'd be
Yeah,
happy to talk to you.
and I'd be
after
happy
the
to talk with you after the meeting as well, if there's a specific instance. And then as far as the complaint on Skyview, like Councilman Jackson said, that has been cleared up. 2 citations were issued on that street, and we did an administrative cut yesterday for tall grass at a property that wasn't mowing their lawn. So, you know, please just list out the address and the violation, and we will address it. Sometimes it takes time. We like to give the owners and the occupants time to address it themselves, but ultimately we will take care of it if we need to. Are there any other questions?
Any questions from the council?
Yeah, I have one. I'd like to know, considering you're the head of all the departments, I think that the board needs, I know I do, I need to have a number, maybe a sergeant's number that's on duty, like throughout the week, that we need to call, because I have a lot of residents call me for things that they need to be addressed. And instead of calling like the dispatcher, 911, I know the other agency with Manini and Hall, I was always able to have a sergeant's number. I think Tom was, when he's sick now, Tom's no longer with us, or?
No, he's not, and really, it's not appropriate for the council to have the sergeant's number.
What kind of issues are you talking about?
Well, parents, people call me all the time. I had a resident call me and said that there were cars parked on McComas, like doubled up, and there was a lot of noise. And then, I don't wanna call the chief, you know, but I like to be able to, because I know with the last agencies, I was able to call, I don't know any other board members, I was able to call a sergeant.
I can address that.
Yeah,
Sure. Yeah, I'll let her address it.
yeah, okay, well,
With the report,
I was going
yeah.
through you, to go through her, so,
Sure.
you know, proper
Thank you.
protocol.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Chief Sanders, you've got a report for us?
I sure do.
Thank you.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Good evening.
The police department report spans from Wednesday, May 1st to Saturday, June 1st, 2024. There were a total of 1,553 calls for service that the officers answered. There were 142 police reports generated during that time frame. That does not include supplemental reports. There were 37 accident reports or collision reports taken during this period. 178 citations were written, and there were 188 business checks. I know on the back of everyone's report, you guys got the flyer for Citizens Police Academy. I'm sure you've seen the signs out in the community. I went out and I posted them myself. There's some out front. I posted one inside the entrance to the majority of the subdivisions and all of the places we provide police service for. I talked a little bit about this the other day with some of the council members, the importance of trying to get some people in seats, and to my pleasant surprise, Normandy participated in the crowdfunding or fundraising for the 24-1 Municipal Citizens Police Academy. Citizens Police Academy in places like Ladue, Chesterfield, Town and Country have waiting lists sometimes that expand more than a year, where people are waiting to get into these things. Normandy was not picked for Citizens Police Academy by North County Police Chiefs Association. They typically pick other people that surround us, but we haven't been picked since 2009, so we started our own. Myself and all the joint police chiefs of the 24-1, this will be our second session, raise the money, so this is a no-cost endeavor for you guys, but we would like for you guys to come and join. Councilman Saxenheimer joined. Normandy actually participated or raised a great deal of funds for this. In the last session we had 58 participants, and we didn't have one person from the city limits of Normandy or any place that we provide police service for. So that was a little disappointing, considering we had put so much money and effort into it, and we didn't have any attendees from our own community. There's a lot of questions about why we do what we do, why police handle calls certain ways, what your constitutional rights are, why we don't go on properties and just start doing things. And I think the Citizens Police Academy would answer a lot of those questions for people. It's easy to have a perception of what it is that everyone thinks we do, but we kind of roll back the veil in the Citizens Police Academy and give you an opportunity to go on ride-alongs. Councilman Saxenheimer participated in the Shoot or Don't Shoot simulator the other day, and I think everybody shot someone. It was pretty interesting. Everyone shot someone. It was interesting, and one of the things that I heard repeatedly was, wow, this is hard. Wow, you have to be able to communicate effectively.
wow, this is different. Wow, you guys noticed everything. You know, there were people that got stabbed because they didn't see knives on tables, or they thought citizens would behave a certain way and didn't. I encourage everyone to come out. It's 12 weeks long. There's only 11 weeks left. We also have a community day that falls in the center of it, and we'll get some more information out. You'll see flyers about that. The community day is a free event. It's open to the entire 24/1 in all of our surrounding communities. It's not just limited to our people. It's an opportunity where all the police departments involved showcase all of the cool equipment we have. We bring the drones out, the ATVs, the bicyclists, there's giveaways, there's food. It's a good opportunity to meet your public servants, the people that are willing to pay the ultimate sacrifice. There's a barcode on this flyer that if you scan it with your phone, you can sign up. If you sign up, there's 11 more sessions. I'll be teaching constitutional law tomorrow and teaching everyone the best questions to ask law enforcement when you come across a police officer. The best thing to say to a police officer when you see them at Quick Trip or on a call for service. I'll be teaching tomorrow, so I hope that if anybody who hasn't had a chance to sign up, sign up. It'll be a great opportunity for you guys to actually come see what we do. If you're disinterested in the 12-week program, I understand people are busy. It's on Wednesdays from 6 to 8. If you can't do that, I'm encouraging our council members, specifically our council, to sign up for a ride-along with the police department. I'm encouraging everyone to do at least a 6-hour day ride-along and a 6-hour night ride-along because our clientele differs from day to night. You'll see some different things. I want you guys to drive the community. I want you guys to hear the calls for service. I promise we'll keep you guys safe, but I want you guys to see what the men and women of the Normandy Police Department do and how we have to prioritize calls. And sometimes when we run that 12-hour shift, that 12 hours goes really fast depending on whether or not you're an armed barricaded subject for 6 or 7 hours. And the citizens really control how long the calls for service take and what the outcomes of those situations are. We do our best to try to make sure they all end positively, but ultimately the citizens really have a lot more control than people think. So I would just like to encourage everyone to join the Citizens Police Academy. To everyone out in the community, there's some flyers over on the table. Please sign up. I think it will change your perception of your local law enforcement and law enforcement nationwide. It's a very eye-opening experience. We're going to put the drunk goggles on everybody and let you ride through an obstacle course to simulate what driving impaired looks like. We're going to teach you about 7-step traffic stop, bring in some drugs and some canine dogs, teach you guys about building clearing, let you guys see what the SRT, which is Strategic Response Team, does. They're the people that helped us with our barricaded subject the other day. They're going to teach you guys about breaching doors, and it's just a great opportunity for you guys to really dive into our world. And I think it's a great opportunity for you guys to build some more bridges with your local police department and with the officers that serve you every day. You'll see them at the Citizens Police Academy, and if you come in and you sign up for a ride-along, you'll definitely get an opportunity to see what the morale, the camaraderie is, and maybe hear directly from the officers about some of the ways that we can work collaboratively and collectively to make Normandy a great city, and providing the officers with the resources that they need and just letting them know that they're supported by you. So I encourage that. With regards to having a point of contact, we actually prefer all calls to come into dispatch. And the reason being is because if they don't come into dispatch, they're not documented. So when I say there was 1,553 calls for service, those are only the documented ones. If someone walks into the lobby, we've started now making the police clerk, whether there's an officer in the back or not, we've started making her call dispatch and ask for an officer to respond so it logs the call, so there's documented proof there was an actual call for service, and the officer actually has to enter a disposition on the call. There's call notes that will be taken. Those call notes are important because that's where physical descriptions of people go. If you call and you see something suspicious, they're going to collect that information. If it's a vehicle, they're going to get license plate information. All of those things are pinned into that call forever. So if there's ever a reason for me to look back to see who the caller was, a lot of times someone will say, hey, I called the police 10 times. I put in the address. If they've only come up to the station and talked to someone inside the lobby, there is no record that those calls ever happened. There is no record that there was any law enforcement interaction. And I, as the chief, don't know what the disposition is. Now I've got to wait for officer so-and-so or such and such to come back on Friday or on Monday when they get back in, and then I have to ask them, what happened with that citizen engagement or that citizen contact? I like that all the calls be called in, so that way I have a record of every call my people go to, all the information as it pertains to the incident, and then a documented history of what was done. If there was no report taken, it'll say no report taken. If there was a report taken, it'll give me the report, and I can easily and quickly pull the report and further any investigation that I have or answer any questions that you might have as to why something went a certain way. So that's why we encourage everyone that you can't go wrong by calling the 636-529-8210, the non-emergency number. But if you don't want to do that, you can call 911. No one's ever going to answer the phone and say, why did this is not an emergency. They're gonna say 911, what's your emergency? You say there's a loud party, they're gonna take all the same notes and all the same information, because that call is going to the dispatcher at the same place as the 636. The same people that answer the non-emergency answer the 911. So, and they're gonna ask the same exact questions, and your call is going to be funneled the same way. So a lot of times, if something's chaotic, I actually recommend, just call 911, can't go wrong. And a lot of times, if you call the non-emergency number, the hold time might be a little longer, because they assume it's a non-emergency, but when you call 911, they answer, 911, what's your emergency? So you'll get a faster response as well, so I recommend that. I'm gonna leave it there unless anyone has any additional questions for me, but I'm gonna say, Citizens Police Academy.
Thank you, Chief.
Sign up, sign up, sign up.
Where is the session tomorrow?
I will have an agenda, I'll grab it. The session tomorrow is going to be held at Veneta Park, at
Okay.
their police station, and it'll be in their, executive conference room.
Thank
No problem. Does anybody, questions, comments, concerns? Perfect.
you. Good.
All right, thank you guys.
Thank you.
Chief, you said that you're aware of.
So I'll hit that real quick. There's an individual that, so unfortunately, and I just want to put this out there. A lot of people think like, I called about this incident. Why don't you guys arrest this person? Or why don't you guys clean up this trash? Or why don't you guys, there's a person sleeping on Augusta and they're sleeping in a car. There's a person sleeping on Bermuda Court and they're sleeping in a car. While the street's not zoned residential, unfortunately, I can't tell that person to get off a public street and that they can't sleep there. I have to establish more of a case against a person and just make them move along. And it's unfortunate, and I don't know how our city is becoming a place, we're trying to deter, this becoming a place where we have a lot of transient people that are using our city streets for sleeping. I know for a while there were people sleeping at the library, and we actually worked with the library where they're public, they're private, they're public business, but they own their parking lot, it's not city owned. And they specifically said they didn't want people sleeping there after dark. So we got something from them in writing, and then we started enforcing it. The individual that you're speaking to does not just sleep on Bermuda Court, they kind of drive around everywhere. What I can say is we've amassed several citizen complaints from him. I have several complaints against officers from that individual because he believes he's being harassed. But he does not possess a driver's license, so every time we catch him driving, then that's an issue. There's issues. He's got some outstanding court cases, but there's also several complaints. So that's an ongoing situation with that individual. I've expressed to him numerous times that Bermuda Court is not a place to be sleeping. Unfortunately, the residents that which house they're going to, they continue to entertain a personal relationship with that individual. So sometimes they're parked in the driveway, and then when things aren't that good, they're parked on the street. But they're going back and forth to that house. The residents have denied that they live there because they all know they'll be cited for violation of the occupancy code because he's not on the occupancy permit there. But our hands are kind of tied. When we catch him in Hoselle Park, we do kick him out because Hoselle Park obviously is closed after dark. Anybody that's in Hoselle Park. And the officers have been patrolling Hoselle Park since, I don't know if you guys are aware, there was a trash can fire there a couple weeks ago where some kids set a trash can on fire. And then we have some people just going in there after dark. So we've already added Hoselle Park to a place where we will hope to increase our patrol. And I've been working with Sam about us adding Hoselle Park to the camera system and getting some cameras up there that we can live feed like the ones here in this building. Just adding it to the existing camera system that we have. So if the officers are someplace else, they can actually look at the live feed. But it's summertime now. So we're constantly kicking people out of Hoselle Park after dark. For some reason, they don't know parks are closed. St. Vincent's Park as well. Parks are closed after dark.
Right.
Thank you, Chief.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Dennis, do you have a report for us?
I have nothing to add to the report, but I'll field any questions that anybody has.
Any questions for our Public Works Director? All right.
Thanks for,
Go ahead.
painting that yellow, that safety chip.
Hopefully nobody else.
Yeah, and it looks real good, at least it's notable, thank you, appreciate it.
Oh, thanks for Dragon Field too, lifesaver.
Thank you. All right, Mr. Ellis, our city treasurer, could not be here. Sam's going to give us a summary of this financial report.
Yes, absolutely. So for the month of April, which is the reporting period for this report, we had a net income of the city of $220,000, which brings our year-to-date net deficit at negative $370,000. So we are, again, as projected, we're regaining that ground from the initial insurance premiums at the beginning of the year. I expect that we'll have net incomes for the remainder of the year. May will probably be about even because there are 3 payrolls in there. But, yeah, $220,000 net income, not bad for April. For the summary of general fund balance, you'll see that our unrestricted cash fund balance for the city is $1,098,000. Once you separate out the funds that Glen Echo brought over, the cell tower designated funds, and the due to other funds, that is $571,000 that is completely unrestricted and unobligated. Looking at general fund income, part C, you can see the different categories of income that we have and how we're doing year to date through April 30th. You'll see that grants is still at a 0. We did receive some grants in May, and we'll be receiving some grants before the end of the fiscal year, so I expect that will catch back up, even though we haven't received any grants thus far. That I'm not concerned about that. You'll see that as far as where you want to be in terms of the budget remaining, you would want to be about at 42% at this point in the year, 7 months in. So you can kind of judge that against the other tax and revenue categories. One that I am concerned about and would be concerned about if I were a council member is court fines, where year to date we have brought in about 102,000, where we budgeted about 350,000, and I think we will come under significantly in the court fine revenue for the city. I've looked at some of the numbers with Yolanda in court, and the fluctuation in the tickets issued and the revenue that comes with that is directly related to the time that we've seen lower staffing in the police department and have had to pull our traffic units out of operation. So that's the main cause for that not going as planned with the budget. And then you can see the different departments in Part B for different expenditures in the general fund. You'll see that administration, police are over budget, and that those two carry the largest part of the insurance premium, so that does have to do it. I would say that the police, from my projections, I believe the police department's actually going to come in significantly, or somewhat significantly under budget, while administration is probably going to come in a little bit over budget, primarily due to legal fees by the end of the year. But this is the year to date. And then you'll see the other departments are court is under budget, prosecuting attorney is over budget, street is right about on budget, and park is over budget, of course. That has transferred funds from the Parks and Stormwater sales tax as well. And then I won't go quite into as much detail in the in funds that aren't the general fund, but I will point out that the TIF transfers have been made. There's still as of April 30th, there was 84 cents in the TIF account that we still need to clean up. But other than that, the over $1 million has been, the TIF has been dissolved and the $1 million in there has been sent out. About 250,000 of that went to other taxing entities. The rest went to the Capital Improvement Fund, the Parks and Stormwater Fund, and an Economic Development Fund. So you'll see that Parks and Stormwater year to date has $510,000 in income from that transfer, and the regular taxes and economic development sales is the same. And you'll see that capital improvement has quite a bit less, but still receives some from the TIF account. So unless there's any questions, I'd be happy to answer, but that's all I have.
Any questions on this financial report? Is there a motion to approve the April 30, 2024 financial report? We have a motion, is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it, motion carries. Thank you, Sam. All right, moving on. Old business, Council Bill 23-32, second reading. Is there a motion for a second reading of Council Bill 23-32?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. 23-32, an ordinance of the City of Normandy, Missouri, amending Chapter 405 zoning by the enactment of a new Article 20, creating a uniform site plan review procedure. Is there a motion to adopt Bill 23-32? We have a motion, is there a second?
Second.
Roll call vote, please.
Councilman Saxonhammer?
Yes.
Councilwoman Cleveland? Councilman Jackson?
Yes.
Councilman Evans?
Yes.
Councilwoman Shivers?
Yes.
Councilman Nelson?
Yes.
Councilwoman Campbell?
Yes.
Councilwoman Valier?
Yes.
Motion carries. Bill 23-32 is adopted as ordinance number 813. Next item on the agenda, Council Bill 23-33. Yes.
That's actually the incorrect ordinance number that was applied there. The correct ordinance number is 814. That was a previous document.
I apologize, I did the package
That's okay.
this time, that's my fault.
Bill 23-32 is adopted as ordinance number 814. Thank you. Is there a motion for a second reading of Bill number 23-33?
Motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Bill 23-33, an ordinance of the City of Normandy, Missouri, amending Chapter 405 zoning regulations, Article 13, non-conforming uses, Section 405.790, authority of the City Council to grant special permits for certain otherwise prohibited purposes by making certain deletions and additions necessary following the adoption of a new mixed-use district ordinance and a new site plan review procedure. Is there a motion to adopt Bill 23-33?
Motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
Roll call vote, please.
Councilman Saxonhammer?
Yes.
Councilwoman Cleveland?
Yes.
Councilman Jackson?
Yes.
Councilman Evans?
Yes.
Councilwoman Shivers?
Yes.
Councilman Nelson?
Yes.
Councilwoman Campbell?
Yes.
Councilwoman Valier?
Yes.
Motion carries. Bill 23-33 is adopted as ordinance number
815.
815. Thank you. The next bill, we've had this issue in front of us at 2 closed session meetings, so you're familiar with it. And for that reason, I'm going to ask for 2 readings at this meeting, and you know the rules here. We need a unanimous vote to have that second reading. Is there a motion for the first reading of bill number 24-13?
Motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Bill 24-13, an ordinance of the City of Normandy, Missouri, repealing ordinance number 2021-007 and authorizing city officials to take actions necessary to terminate further payment on the void promissory note with Simmons Bank dated November 6, 2020. Is there a motion for a second reading of Bill 24-13?
I'll make a motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
And I want to emphasize, I need a unanimous vote to have this reading. Roll call vote, please.
Councilman Saxonhammer?
Yes.
Councilwoman Cleveland?
Yes.
Councilman Jackson?
Yes.
Councilman Evans?
Yes.
Councilwoman Shivers?
Yes.
Councilman Nelson? Councilman Nelson?
No, I'm not gonna vote on this.
Are you not gonna vote, or are you voting no?
I'm sustaining from the vote.
Councilwoman Campbell?
Yes.
Councilwoman Bagay?
Yeah.
He abstained.
So,
My understanding is an abstention is ruled with the majority. Is that accurate, Andy?
Generally, yes, yes.
Ayes have it, motion carries.
Right, let's keep moving.
Bill 23-13, second reading. An ordinance of the city of Normandy, Missouri, repealing ordinance number 2021-007 and authorizing city officials to take actions necessary to terminate further payment on the void promissory note with Simmons Bank dated November 6, 2020. Is there a motion to adopt Bill 24-13?
Motion.
Is there a second? Is there a second? Second. Thank you. Roll call vote, please.
Councilman Sachsenheimer?
Yes.
Councilwoman Cleveland? Yes. Councilman Jackson?
Yes.
Councilman Evans?
Yes.
Councilwoman Shivers?
Yes.
Councilman Nelson?
Sustain.
Councilwoman Campbell?
Yes.
Motion
Councilwoman Bagay?
carries. Bill 24.
Wait, wait, wait.
Oh, I'm
Councilwoman
so
Bagay.
sorry, Vicki. I keep forgetting to look at the screen. I didn't hear you, I'm sorry. Thank you. Motion carries. Bill 24-13 is adopted as ordinance number
816.
816. Thank you. And we have another, let me catch up here. We have another bill in front of us that I'm going to ask for 2 readings at the same meeting. The Lee's Chicken, go ahead, if you want to give some background on this, Sam.
Sure. I received a request from a lawyer who represents Lee's Chicken. They're doing some restructuring. The current owner, I think it's ESJ Enterprises or something like that. They run the franchise there at Lee's Chicken. They're restructuring, and a new LLC is going to operate the Lee's Chicken. My understanding, it's even the same owner. They're just literally putting a new business in to operate the franchise. So really, effectively, nothing really is changing. They're slightly changing the way they do their operations, but we should still transfer the special use permit from the current occupant to the new occupant. And that way, their business license, because we need to issue them a new business license, a new occupancy permit. And in order to do that, we need to transfer the special use permit, and that's simply just done by the ordinance of the council. We don't necessarily want to hang them up on this, especially since it's a Lee's Chicken now. It's been a Lee's Chicken since the 80s. It's going to remain a Lee's Chicken. I prefer not to snag them up for a month, and so that's why we're requesting 2 readings.
Well, in my understanding, it's the same owner, it's the same business, it's Lee's Chicken. The LLC was created just as a business structure to operate the Lee's Chicken. But it's some paperwork we have to manage through to keep them legit. Is there a motion for a first reading of Bill 24-14?
Motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries. An ordinance of the city of Normandy, Missouri, transferring the special use permit for a quick service restaurant granted by ordinance 230 to a new occupant for the continued use of a Lee's Famous Recipe restaurant. Is there a motion? And again, if we want to not hang them up here, we'll need a unanimous vote on this. Is there a motion for a second reading of Bill 24-14?
Motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
Roll call vote, please.
Councilman Sachsenheimer?
Yes.
Councilwoman Cleveland?
Yes.
Councilman Jackson?
Yes.
Councilman Evans?
Yes.
Councilwoman Shivers?
Yes.
Councilman Nelson?
Yes.
Councilwoman Campbell.
Yes.
Councilwoman Verrier.
Yes.
Motion carries. Second reading of Bill 24-14. An ordinance of the City of Normandy, Missouri, transferring the special use permit for a quick service restaurant granted by Ordinance 230 to a new occupant for the continued use of a Lee's Famous Recipe restaurant. Is there a motion to adopt Bill 24-14?
Motion.
We have a motion, is there a second? Roll call vote, please.
Councilman Sachsenheimer.
Yes.
Councilwoman Cleveland.
Yes.
Councilman Jackson.
Yes.
Councilman Evans.
Yes.
Councilwoman Shivers.
Yes.
Councilman Nelson.
Yes.
Councilwoman Campbell.
Yes.
Councilwoman Verrier.
Yes.
Motion carries. Bill 24-14 is adopted as ordinance number
817.
817. Thank you. All right. Next item of business, Resolution 24-21. A resolution of the City of Normandy, Missouri awarding a bid for single-family solid waste collection services and authorize city officials to execute a contract on behalf of the City of Normandy with the winning bidder. What I'd like to do is, everybody's gonna have an opportunity to speak, but use your time well, because we're not going backwards, okay? State your position on the bid that you'd like to accept, and we'll give everybody that same opportunity, and then we're gonna have a vote. And Steve, you wanna go?
Yes, my question would be, I think, if I remember right, one of them has a house on it and one of them is a lot.
Oh, no. We're on the,
Little trash.
this is 24-21 trash service.
I apologize. I have the wrong thing in front of me. My question would be, we're gonna do this before September
For the trash
for
service?
the trash service.
So, no, the current contract ends on December 6th. So, whoever we award the contract to would take up after that, and then it would run through 3 years to the end of December. And then would there be a chance for 2-year extensions if both parties agree?
Okay.
3 and 2, okay.
And I want to address a point of inquiry here. The reason we're doing this now, if the bid goes to a company that, if we make a change, there's a lot of logistics involved in getting a service up and running. It could involve buying trucks, leasing trucks, creating routes. There's a lot of work to do to make a smooth transition. So if we choose to change, we would not be doing ourselves or the contractor a service not getting this done.
Right, okay.
Do you have a preference when all the bids were sent out and you had an opportunity to read?
Yeah, I would have to go with the lowest bidder, which would be Republic.
Karen?
So we're just gonna say which bid?
We're just soliciting opinions, and if you don't have one, that's fine too.
I do have questions. So if we happen to change from waste management to another, are we able to use our same bins that we have?
No, both Meridian and Republic, which would be the other options, opted to dispose of the Normandy bins or let people use them as yard waste containers, and they would provide you with a new bin. I think both of them are particular about their branding, and so they require that you use their bin.
So some have waste management bins, they would pick, they can still use
Waste
those?
management would be responsible for coming to pick those up, and then if they don't pick them up, then they would dispose of those.
And I'm not familiar with this because it's just been on multiple bins, so I still have a Normandy trash can. So did they actually purchase those bins from Waste Management? And if so, if they pick those up, would they get a refund for those bins?
Would residents get a refund?
Residents, I'm sorry.
No, they would not get a refund. They could because they were already always normed these bins from my understanding, although granted, I wasn't here at the
Right.
time. But you could either, I'm not sure if both Meridian and Republic did this, but I know that you could either potentially keep it as a yard waste bin and mark it yard waste, or they will dispose of it for you.
Okay, that's what my
We were specific in the specifications that there had to be, if you weren't gonna keep using them, you had to have an option to get rid of them.
Okay, so the cost that I saw, those are quarterly?
The cost for the
For
service. So in the bid tabulation that went out, that's the monthly cost. It would be billed quarterly. So,
Oh, okay,
yeah,
okay. And I guess my last question, so we're used to having Monday as our pickup, that can possibly change? And if it does change, I'm gonna make the assumption that we'll know about that ahead of time, all the citizens.
right. Yeah, and I already know, I think Republic put in their bid that I don't think Monday works well for them. But we award the bid and then we iron out the contract, right? And that contract would specify the pickup days.
Okay,
Although it may be subject to change.
okay,
So you will know before everything's finally said and done, and people will definitely know if the date's gonna change ahead of
Okay.
time.
and that will start maybe January if we do change for waste management?
It would start December 7th.
December 7th?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
I'll just open the floor. Is there anybody else?
You have anything?
What's
Really,
this?
the only thing I wanted to say is that, will the citizens be aware of what they're getting ready to pay prior?
So,
Yes.
I can answer that.
Go ahead.
We did put in the specifications that the awarded bidder does have to send out a full mailer,
Okay,
right? And Republic was actually kind enough to send us a sample of some other cities that they've done. So the mailer will describe the scope of services.
okay.
We're not talking about huge change, but there are some slight changes, and they'll also inform them of what their bill is. And so that will come ahead of December. But, yeah, it's going up.
Yeah,
Either
it's
way.
going up, right, that's
Yes.
why I really wanted to make sure they know about it and they're aware of it, because that's what we're gonna have to deal with, moving forward. I don't really have a comment, the only comment I have about waste management is that, I really wasn't satisfied with their service. So I hear Republic is probably no better, and I don't know too much about Meridian. So really, it's like a toss-up. I mean, when we sign these bids, when we sign them, we expect the service. And a lot of the service, we didn't get from Waste Management. We had a lot of complaints. We had Waste Management, we had drivers pulling off, and you had people coming up. We don't know if they're working on holidays, if it's Labor Day, if they're working on Christmas. We just didn't know. So we just if you don't put your trash can out, you might miss it. So all the holidays, we just put them out and just, see. So that's where I'm at. It's a flip of the coin.
Yeah, and I'll say some of that was admittedly on the city, and we've learned, and I think the flyer, that's one of the reasons why we've requested the flyer, because it will have the holiday dates on there as well. And I don't know, I do have a recommendation, and so, I would also recommend Republic. They had the lowest bid. I thought their bid package was comprehensive, and they showed a lot of details and features that they offer. And then also, we've had some experience with Republic through, they service Glen Echo right now, and I've been very happy with the municipal relationship team and Susan who came up and spoke. They're very responsive, and.
Can I make a comment?
Go ahead. I had a quick one.
Sure, if you can't, hold the floor, Kevin, when you're done.
Yeah, I'm done. Go ahead, we go.
Yeah, in just a second, we're just gonna go in order
Yeah,
here.
I just have, well, you covered a lot of things. I had a quick question, senior citizen discount.
Okay, I can say that.
Was Waste Management the only one that offered a senior citizen discount?
Yes.
So
Go ahead.
hold on, I'll clarify. it was not in our scope of service. It was brought up at the workshop before we issued the RFP, and the council, I don't think there was a vote on it, but there was a consensus that we did not want the senior discount. But we did have an option for a value add item, which generally is supposed to be like discounted dumpster roll-offs or something like that, and Meridian has some of those. Waste management for a value add item put in a 10% senior discount. So if you're 62 and you have to register.
They don't know though.
So they put that in the value add item without us asking.
So Republic doesn't have a discount, it seems.
No, and we didn't ask them to bid for it. We didn't ask any of the bidders to put it in.
Oh, you didn't ask
No,
any of the bidders?
we did have this conversation at the workshop and
We didn't have a workshop.
No, this is
previous
the,
workshop.
Previous workshop?
this
Yeah.
was maybe even the March workshop.
Right.
Yeah, the March workshop.
And the discussion was, whatever discount one party gets, somebody down the street's making up the difference.
Right.
And it's just not fair.
Oh.
That's why
With
we
the-
voted.
Yeah, we just said everybody just pays the same.
Yeah, that's why we-
Because it costs X number of dollars to run that truck through the city, somebody's gonna pay for it. And the number of seniors in our city,
Right.
somebody that's not 62 is gonna have a fat bill for their trash bin.
And that was-
Anyway, we did have that discussion.
Yeah, we did, we voted it
And
down.
when we
Yeah, we
chose
did.
not to go with that
Yeah, we
senior
did.
discount.
We did.
Vicki, go ahead.
Yeah, we've had Republic since December, and we got them on an emergency basis. It is very important for that mailer to go out and that people have contact telephone numbers. It would be important, I believe, as we gather more information and as everybody updates their occupancy permits, to have email addresses and telephone numbers in those files so that if there's a change, if there's an emergency, that the company could have some way of directly communicating with customers, because that's kind of fallen on me since December, and even during the time that I was, in limbo between Glen Echo's ending and being elected in Normandy. I've still done it as best I could, but getting the word out to everybody is not always easy. So if there is a change, an email blast or something to residents knowing that things have changed is very important.
Thank you. Let's go down the line this way now.
I wanted to make a comment about the dumpsters or the containers. I did purchase mine. So someone had asked, did you buy them? I did. That's why you see more than one, because I purchased the one that to utilize, then the other two for extra containers. So I paid out of pocket for my containers.
Yeah, I appreciate that, but I don't
Right.
know, I don't, Republic's not gonna be interested in.
Right, so I'll just keep mine.
Meridian or whoever.
Yeah, and just use them.
Yeah, well, I should clarify. If you wanted to mark them as a yard waste container, you can use any container as a yard waste container. And I think that's true for Meridian or Republic. But if you would have to use a Republic can for trash or recycling.
I know I would
Yeah.
have to
And
purchase
then
one of
also,
theirs.
I'm sorry, excuse me. Base bid item 3 is the cost for, the extra monthly cost for an extra can. So on the bid tabulation, so Republic is $4 a month for an extra solid waste or recycle. Republic is $5 a month for an extra can, and Waste Management is $4 a month.
So I would need to purchase a second one for Republic.
You don't purchase, you would pay an extra $5 a month if it was Republic.
But I could use one of the ones that I have.
Not for trash.
For yard waste.
Yard waste, okay. Understood.
As Councilman Jackson said, service is the most important thing for us. We were a proud community who had our own public works trash department for years in the north here. We did that for years. Of course, we did Mondays and Tuesdays, we did Ward 1 and 2. Clean the trucks on Wednesdays. On Thursdays, and basically Thursdays, we did Ward 3 and 4. Then Fridays, we did recycle in the whole community. This job was done in a week. And we had a public works department where if there was trash or anything left, they'd come back and get it, probably for the next day. Now, I didn't understand the waste management situation. I don't want to rag on them, but they thought they can do all of that in one day, which was impossible. A lot of people suffered behind that for the last 3 years. So the thing is service. I don't think we're going to complain too much about $1 or $2 here. The service is the most important thing here in our community. You know, so that's what I wanted to say. Just like
Do you have an opinion on which carrier you would prefer?
I'm going to be partial because you said you work with my chess kids at the Wesley House. So I'm being partial.
That's a
conflict. I don't think it's a conflict.
Yolanda?
So I'm just.
I'm sorry, I thought you were done.
I agree with Republic at this point.
Yolanda?
I would rather, I don't really have a preference, but if we were gonna, I would rather stick with waste management. I like the idea that they're gonna get, we have a large older population and they're gonna give some kind of discount. The other thing that I liked about them were the late fees, where it was just like a flat fee for $5 or 2.5%. Whereas the other ones, it was kind of iffy, and then they were higher, and then the reactivation fees. To me, $25 to like, as opposed to 35 or 33, I feel like kind of like that's where they get you. The containers are free to change. They're normally $30. Look. I know when I go places, my mother gets a discount because she's over 65 and everything, and I gotta pay a little bit more. But if that helps her out, then I'm fine with that. So I don't have a problem with giving someone who's older than me a discount when they're on a fixed income where I have to pay a full rate. So I would just rather, I think that caveat was the thing that got me.
Can I say one thing? I agree with, I read that they would give the seniors who couldn't get to the front, they would bring their trash cans out. Certain seniors who signed up for that service, bring them out and bring them in. I agree.
I would like to clarify, that's in the base services. We're requiring that from all carriers, the valet service.
Okay.
So it was wrapped into the base service, so some people mentioned it in the bid, some people didn't, but it's required of everybody.
You have to sign up for it.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, the flavor I'm getting is that the council is.
Did you get Vicky?
Oh, Vicky did speak.
Yes, she did.
Yeah, the flavor I'm getting is that the council is looking to.
Oh, she said.
Oh, I'm sorry, I can't
Yeah,
hear you.
I've spoken with Director of Communication, and needing that flyer to go out. In terms of senior discounts, obviously, I'm a senior, I would like a discount. And I disagree on the fundamental reason for not putting it in the bid contract.
Right.
Nobody in your neighbor's not gonna have to pay for your discount. That's just not the way the world works. The company will take a hit and it'll be to their bottom line. But these are big companies who make a lot of money and they wouldn't be offering the discount if they couldn't afford it.
Well, I'll add my 2 cents and then we're gonna see where the council sits. I don't wanna penalize Meridian or Republic for not including that discount when we did not ask for it. That's what I would say to that. Well, we're gonna find out here. Is there, the flavor I'm getting is there's a lean toward Republic. Is there a motion to amend Resolution 2421 paragraph 3 to read as follows. Whereas the city council of the city of Normandy desires to engage Republic Services for the provision of single-family solid waste collection. Is there a motion to that effect?
Mayor Beckman, is there a way, do we have time to, give the flat rates before we vote?
There, do you not
I
have
mean,
them?
I know we have them, but I'm just saying out loud.
Sure.
Okay.
Meridian for year one is $31.36 a month. Republic is $30.65 a month, and Waste Management is $32.20 a month. Right, correct.
Quarterly.
And then billed quarterly.
Okay.
That's their monthly fee,
Right.
billed quarterly.
So basically, 90-something,
Right,
90-something a
right.
month. The citizens should be expecting to pay 90-something every quarter, every
No,
quarter.
that's not right. Because you have to add $5 in per month per can.
No,
No,
that's
that's second.
additional.
That's second edition.
Okay.
Only
This
if you
is
need
it.
a second.
Addition,
Right.
okay.
So for Republic, you're talking about $92, and then you go up.
Okay.
So we're talking about anywhere from 92 to probably, what, 96, 97, $98
Yeah.
per quarter. So we want the citizens to know it's per quarter, 90-something per quarter.
Can I ask another, can I just
Now
ask
it's-
something?
You say, yeah, point of inquiry, go ahead.
Okay. If we happen to go with Republic, and I know it's $30.65 a month, just to help people with their budget, can they pay monthly that amount, or do they have to just pay? Because when you're doing a budget, I'm a budget person. If I'm doing my budget, I'm saying, okay, so it's $30.65, I know I have to pay a trash bill in the next 3 months. Can I put this $30.65 as my budget and pay it?
That's a contract negotiation
Okay.
that we would have to work out.
Okay.
We're not gonna engage Republic
Okay, I'm
at this
sorry, I
time.
wouldn't engage them, but
Yeah.
yeah, that's something that we need to.
Yeah,
look into.
if we accept their bid, then there's a contract negotiation that we'll hammer out details. So, is there a motion to amend Resolution 2421 as follows? Paragraph 3, whereas the City Council of the City of Normandy desires to engage Republic Services for the provision of single-family solid waste collection. Failing that motion, it'll die on the floor. I'll put it out to the floor. What do you want to do?
What are we supposed to vote on?
Well, I was asking for a motion
Yeah.
that would, you'll notice that the resolution has a blank.
Yeah.
So before we can vote on this resolution, I have to amend it to
Okay.
insert the name of this carrier that we want to use.
So moved.
That we have a motion, is there a second? Which would effectively name Republic Services as our provider. There's a motion, is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All
Aye.
opposed?
No.
Roll call vote, please.
Councilman Sexenhammer?
Yes.
Councilwoman Cleveland?
No.
Councilman Jackson?
No.
Councilman Evans?
No.
Councilwoman Shivers?
Opposed?
Councilman Nelson?
Yes.
Councilwoman Campbell?
No.
Councilwoman Barrier?
Yes.
The nays have it, motion fails. If somebody wants, we've got bids from Waste Management, we've got bids from Meridian. If somebody wants to make another motion,
Let me make a motion to replace, what do I say?
it's paragraph
three
3.
with Waste management.
There's a motion on the floor to amend 2421 as follows, whereas the City of Normandy, Missouri desires to engage Waste Management for the provision of single-family solid waste collection services in the City of Normandy. Is there a second?
A second.
You can't make it.
Second.
Is there a second? We have there's a motion and a second. Roll call vote, please.
Councilman Soxenheimer.
Yes.
Councilwoman Cleveland.
Yes.
Councilman Jackson.
No.
Councilman Evans.
No.
Councilwoman Shivers.
Yes.
Councilman Nelson.
No.
Councilwoman Campbell.
Yes.
Councilwoman Bayer.
No.
So we haven't chosen a waste collection.
Right, that's a tie.
That's a tie.
I got 3 yeas. Who's?
No.
You're the tie.
I'm sorry. Who are the 3 yeas?
There's 4. That's
Or who are the 4 yeas?
Councilman Soxenheimer, Cleveland, Shivers, and Campbell.
Oh, I marked one wrong. I vote no. So the choice for Republic has failed. The choice for Waste Management has failed. Is anybody interested in the Meridian bid?
No.
I don't know anything about Meridian, so I can't even say up or down. I know about waste management.
Yeah.
I heard all about it.
Go ahead.
Can I
Susan.
suggest that we table this until the workshop?
Yes, you may. Make them in the form of a
I'll
motion.
make a motion.
Oh, I move.
There's a
Okay.
motion.
Motion to postpone.
Motion to
Motion to
postpone
postpone.
resolution 2421 to the next workshop.
Motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
Second.
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it, motion carries.
What date is that workshop on?
All right, hang on for me. I lost my agenda. Resolution 24-22, a resolution of the City of Normandy, Missouri, authorizing the city administrator to enter into a sale agreement for real property at 7733 Brand Avenue. Is there a motion to adopt resolution 24-22?
So moved.
We have a motion, is there a second?
Second.
Are there any questions about what we're doing here?
Which,
Please?
So we got our final and best offer, from a party called Samson Fowler, I don't know who that is, but they were the highest offer at $10,000 for the purchase of 7733 Brand. It is a vacant property. It's quite derelict, but not unsound. It sits far off the street, so unless you're looking for it, you really don't see it. And I recommend that we get rid of it, and $10,000 is frankly higher than I thought we were gonna get for it.
Oh, that's a little shack.
It's got a hole in the front wall.
Yeah.
Yeah, a little shack.
It's boarded up.
That's right.
Okay, it's boarded up.
I'll make a motion.
So we've got a motion and a second. We're entertaining any comments or questions?
It's bad.
All in favor of adopting resolution 24-22?
Motion.
We got a motion and a second. We're going to go ahead and take a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it, motion carries.
I was never able to ask my question about the structure, but that, I'm just putting that on the record. I'm not opposing the vote.
Okay. Resolution 24-23, a resolution of the City of Normandy, Missouri, authorizing the city administrator to enter into a sale agreement for real property at 5518 Winchelsea Drive. Is there a motion to adopt?
Motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any comment or questions?
How much is that one?
That one, the only offer we received on this house, and this house is a particularly derelict house. This is a house that we've actually sold before, we got it and we sold it before, and then that developer didn't do anything, so it reverted back to us. It's in particularly bad shape. A party, Jarrett Woodland, again, don't know who that is, made an offer for it for $5,000. Frankly, higher than I thought we were gonna receive for it as well.
Bad shape.
And we also own a vacant lot next to that, and I heard that he may be interested in quit claiming it, which that would come up at a future meeting as well, but we may have a chance to get rid of two lots here. One with a house on it, one without a house on it, but
Is
this one, I'm sorry.
Is that the one that the tree fell on the back?
I don't recall that a tree fell on it.
I'm not.
It wasn't a tree, I should say a branch or,
It's on the side.
is it on the side? Okay, I know what it is. Thank you.
Any other questions?
Yes. When we decide to sell these properties, are we doing, having any discussions with them about what they plan to do with the property?
I personally have not.
It's all been through the real estate agent, and I know your newly elected Councilman Baye, over the past 2 years, we've kind of done both. We've sold them to people who have told us what they're gonna do with them, and then we've sold it on just listing it as well. And I'd say we've seen mixed results. I mean, nothing terrible has come from either one, I don't think, but particularly this house is in really rough shape and is a liability, and I would just recommend we get rid of it as fast as possible.
But we don't want to sit there idle, just like it is now. Either they're going to tear it down or fix it. I know it's going to take a lot to fix it.
I will tell you, I had a conversation with Alonzo Reed, almost a year and a half ago, that he does make people aware that once they own the house, they're responsible for code compliance. We did have that conversation. Now, whether he conveys that to the buyer effectively or not, I can't guarantee that that happens.
I mean, once it's sold, I mean, we have their contact information, our building inspector will reach out and start the relationship.
Yeah.
And frankly, the process for declaring a building like this a dangerous building will be very straightforward. And if we need to come back and demolish it later when we have funds, the only reason we haven't demolished it yet is because we don't have funds for that, then we can just do that by declaring it a dangerous building, assuming that this new owner is not doing anything with it. But I assume he's buying it so he can do something with it.
But I don't want them to make an assumption, because I always go down Winchelsea, and I know which house it is, just like the one on Grand. They have to do something with those houses, because they're awful. The one on Grand is horrible. The one Winchelsea's horrible too. And tear it down, fix it, they have to do something. Because it's, we don't,
I will say, I mean, this is the only offer we got.
And I'll add to that, Karen, we can sell it or keep it and keep mowing it. I mean, we don't have a guarantee. We just don't have a guarantee, but to not sell it is not an answer either.
No.
Any other comment? We have a motion and a second to adopt resolution 24-3. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Aye. I'm sorry. Ayes have it, motion carries. Resolution 24-24, a resolution of the City of Norman, Missouri awarding a bid to McConnell and Associates through TIPS Interlocal Purchasing System for the Holzell Park Athletic Court resurfacing project. Is there a motion to adopt resolution 24-24?
motion.
We have a motion, is there a second?
I second.
We have a motion and a second, any comments? I will tell you, if we adopt this work is probably gonna start, well, we hope it's gonna start, they're talking like it's gonna start in 3 weeks. And the contract is a almost $329,000 improvement to the park. And the largest part of that is park grant funds.
What's the timeline for completion?
You know, I don't know that. Did they talk about a completion timeline if they start in 3
It will
weeks?
be done this summer, late summer.
What's summer?
This summer.
Like, what's summer? Like the first day of, like? what-
Well, we haven't accepted the bid, so they haven't put us on their schedule yet.
Uh-huh.
So until they do that, I can't give you a firm date, but
But did they say like it's gonna take 6 weeks, it's gonna take 8 weeks?
what we were told is it would be done by the end of summer. But they didn't, again, define it, like, I guess what you're looking for there. But it does have to be done, by the end of the year for the grant, to be in compliance with the grant. If we need an extension, I'm sure we can get one, but it would be done this year. I mean, it's a pretty straightforward project. The only other thing I would add, is that we had a few alternatives from when we initially submitted the grant. And so this resolution would accept the alternative, adding even more parking spaces, giving us a little bit more bang for our buck in terms of dollars spent to additional parking spaces. It would add additional benches around the court and would add a fence between the basketball and pickleball courts. And so those are the alternative site upgrades from the initial grant application. With those alternative upgrades, we're about $8,000 over the grant amount, which that would need to come from our Parks and Stormwater Fund. But as I mentioned earlier in the financial report, we have quite a bit of money in that fund with dissolving the TIF. And frankly, for what we're getting with 10 extra parking spaces basically for that amount, I think it's worth it.
I also put in there a memorial for Harold Parker, a pad and a bench, and we're gonna get some kind of bronze plaque to put on it. We have a motion and a second to adopt resolution 24-24. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it, motion carries. It's a thick pile. Resolution 24-25, a resolution of the City of Narmany, Missouri, appointing a member to the Forestry Advisory Committee. And that member, is there a motion to adopt resolution 24-25?
Motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
Ed James is a longtime resident on Waco Avenue. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it, motion carries. Is there a motion to refer to planning and zoning, rezone in the mixed-use district? We just passed a mixed-use ordinance. What we did not do is select any properties to be included in that mixed-use ordinance. So is this an issue we want to send to planning and zoning to talk about what portion of Natural Bridge is going to be included in the new mixed-use district?
Yes.
So is there a motion to refer to planning and zoning, rezone in the mixed-use district?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Mayor
There's a motion and a second, yes.
Okay, I wanted to get a, more of a explanation of what the mixed-use district is.
Yeah, you weren't here for a lot of it, so let me catch you up.
Right.
We talked about making the Natural Bridge corridor more business-friendly, and to attract more businesses, how do we make it easier to make a dime with the piece of real estate you've got? And it was determined if you had mixed use where you could have business on the first floor, residents on the second floor, where you've got, now you've got, you've got apartment up above, you've got some fixed income. It makes it a lot easier for that business to below to survive. So we sent that idea to planning and zoning, and they worked on it for like 6 months to create an ordinance that would create this district and parking requirements and square footage requirements and what businesses would be allowed, what businesses would not be allowed, what would need a special use permit, a lot of work and talk and discussion. And tonight, we passed the mixed use district ordinance at our last meeting. And now we have to have a conversation of what properties do we want to wrap up in this mixed use district. Right now, it's all just commercial.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. We have a motion to make the referral regarding the mixed use district to planning and zoning, and we have a second. Any other comment or question? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it, motion carries. And I was supposed to ask Sam and Andy what 405795 is and why are we referring that to planning and zoning?
405795 is a ordinance that we're just trying to clean up. Right now, I believe it reads that if we refer a question to planning and zoning and they don't get back to us within 30 days, then the answer is yes. However, that's pretty hard to meet for planning and zoning to even meet in 30 days, let alone consider the question in depth. So we would like to refer that to planning and zoning.
Give them a reasonable amount of time to
Yeah.
deal with whatever issue they're being asked to deal with.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's an ordinance that frankly just, I don't think it makes very much sense.
Okay. Is there a motion to refer to planning and zoning amendment of ordinance statute 405795?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. All right, we had, at our last meeting, we had a presentation from our auditor, and now we've got a draft of the audit, a final draft for the year ending September 2023. Is there a motion to, well, I'm ahead of my game here. Is there a motion to approve the fiscal year 2023 audit?
Can I say something before?
If there's a motion and a second, and then we'll open
Motion.
it up to discussion.
Motion.
We have a motion, is there a second?
Second.
Is there any comments or questions?
Yeah, I'm just a little concerned that we did an audit for 22 last year. We're working on doing one for 23, but the 21 audit, which I spoke about several times, we got, as Mr. Treasurer stated, we had $160,000 undocumented funds from 21.
He did not say that, and I'm really growing tired of you bringing that up every meeting.
What
He
did he
did
say?
not say, he didn't make any comment like that.
I think it's in the minutes.
It is not in the minutes. You're having a bad dream and you're believing it.
Well,
It's-
let him prove it, man.
I'm done. Bring the minutes
Let
then.
him prove it, man.
Yeah, you make this ridiculous.
Can
No,
I-
you may not.
Mark,
We're not talking about 2021. We have a motion. You're out of order. You're out of
You're
order.
out of order.
You're out of order. We've got a motion and a second to adopt this audit. If you want to comment about this audit, you may do it.
Right.
If you want to bring up other issues, you may not. Do you have a comment about this audit?
Yeah. I
Do you want to adopt it?
I don't think, I'm not gonna adopt it.
Okay, thank you.
Keep going.
Any other comments or questions?
I have a comment.
Please.
Just for transparency, between the draft at the last meeting when Molly, our auditor, came and spoke, there are two major changes, I guess three major changes. One, note 4 on page 13 was slightly changed, and it added, and this is about a note regarding the debt of the city and regarding the promissory note on the funeral home. It was added that basically we're in litigation and we're contesting the loan and we believe it's void, right? So that note was added, that wasn't in the original draft. Secondly, there's a management discussion and analysis that was added, that was disseminated in the packet that went out Friday. The main points from that is that we had quite a significant gain in net position and fund balance for the city. That can mostly be attributed to one-time funds or one-time revenues, such as the rest of the ARPA funds, the Winchester settlement, and sale of assets. And then also added to this from the draft is the management's response to the audit findings regarding documentation of internal controls, which we are working on and I expect to have before the next audit.
Thank you. Any other comment? We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Nay?
Motion carries. Discussion, this is the next item, discussion of street assessment and resurfacing projects. We're gonna have a brief discussion, plant the seed, and then this is gonna go to a workshop.
Yeah.
But we do have money to get some of this work done. We've got about $250,000, and I'll let Sam add to this.
Yeah, so we distributed the street report actually at the last regular meeting. We didn't have the quorum for our May workshop, we were planning to talk about it there. Basically, the gist of it is if we were to repave all our streets today and redo the broken concrete on our concrete streets, it would be approximately $4.3 million to do everything in today's money. And that's not including engineering costs. But that being said, we do have a large portion of our streets that are in pretty bad condition. We do have some that are in better condition. And so even if we need to get started is basically the gist of it. Right now, one thing that's at play is Missouri American Water. They're currently doing a lot of water main replacement. They already did some in some neighborhoods, and they're likely to do more over the next 5 years. We've contacted Missouri American Water, and their position is basically, let us know what you're gonna do next year, and then we'll plan around you, and we'll come in when you do it. So, basically, if we're going to do a resurfacing project by the end of this summer, in the paving season, then I would recommend doing a street that has already had a water main replacement done on it. One, we can get some value because we're only doing half the street. And two, we don't have to worry about it getting torn up later. The only thing that the engineer that we are consulting with is caution is that you'll have two different sets of pavements that will age at different rates. They're different. They're going to be different material, and one's going to be about a year older than the other. You may have some longitudinal cracking between those two sets of pavements, and you may have some potholes pop up over time there. It's not saying that's going to be a terrible street, but it's something that something you should know about. The alternative would be either not touch that street right now or repave the entire street, including the new asphalt overlay that was just put down. Frankly, with how far behind we are in the money, with money and repaving the entire streets, I'd say we should save as much as we can. So if we can only do, it means we can get away with doing half the street, I think we should do that. So that being said, if we're going to do a project this summer, by the end of summer, we need to decide that relatively quickly. It's not going to be tonight's meeting, but we do need to come to a consensus. The streets that already have half of them paved are Glen Echo Park, which we have the Glen Echo Park funds that they came over with to do that. The Williams Haven subdivision, which is Brand, Tuxedo, and Sheraton, and then Wooddale Court also had American Water, but their streets are rated a little bit higher than the others. Otherwise, if we're just talking about next year, we can pick whatever we want. We'll communicate that to Missouri American Water, and then they will plan around us. At least that's what they've been telling. That's what they told us. So,
thank you.
If there's any questions, I'd be happy.
Okay, so
excuse me, you said that, certain streets were worse than others. And if I can recall, my street alone, we had a big old hole in it. And are we talking about the length of the street? How many people, how many houses in the area? Is that the assessment of the percentages? How are they basing that on?
Yeah, so the assessment is called a PACER assessment. It's a fairly standard pavement rating assessment in the Midwest in the United States. I can send you some documents about it, but ultimately the goal of the PACER assessment is to get an idea of what the underlying condition of the street is. Not just the asphalt pavement, although overlay that plays a part in it, but how is the subgrade of the street doing, and do you need major reconstruction? Bermuda Court was interesting because it is a Merrimack concrete street underneath with an asphalt overlay, and the overlay is frankly doing pretty terrible. It's chipping up in different places all down the street. You also have some potholes, but it wasn't rated as low as frankly I thought it was going to be, and or low as some other streets, because that Merrimack concrete is strong stuff, and it stands the test of time, and the curbs and gutters and are holding up pretty well. That being said, it's still rated low enough that it needs attention.
All right. Well, like I said, we're not making any decisions tonight. Look over the material, look over Sam's recommendations, and we'll bring it to the workshop in a couple of weeks. All right. Ms. Kiana, is there anybody that wants to?
Kay Moore.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry, Terry
Terry Gannon, 7620 Augusta. So I have a couple of comments. I'm just going to try to be fast and brief. So this weekend I tried to call the police because there were some children bathing in the fountain under the age of 10. They were having a good time. It really looked inviting. So I think this weekend when it gets a little warmer, I don't know where these kids came from. I didn't see any adults anywhere, but they were having the time of their life. So I tried to call, I didn't want to call 911 because it really wasn't an emergency. So I tried to call the city hall, and then they gave me that number, and then they sent me back to the city hall, so I left you a message.
You responded.
Well, yeah, but I mean, I didn't, so when you're saying that I don't know how that works. So I don't know, do you dial 911 when nobody answers? I didn't really want to call you, but I didn't want those kids to get hurt bathing in the fountain either.
Their dad was out there with them.
Oh.
They know now.
Oh.
It's not forbidden.
So the other thing I was going to say, MSD sometimes sends around those little no swimming, no fishing signs. If you could put a little no swimming sign up there. I mean, common sense, you shouldn't be swimming in the fountain. But anyway, there was that. Okay, I just wanted to make a comment about the trash cans that we have now. The city of Normandy got grants for those, so we didn't pay for those. If you wanted an extra one, you paid for that.
Yeah.
But all those trash cans that we had, I think we had at least 2 grants that paid for those trash cans. So it'd be nice if we could get to keep them. I mean, I think they've held up pretty well. I know Rodney would get parts and stuff for them, so that would be nice. I do want to make a comment about Republic Services. I have a commercial property up the street. I have Republic Services. The service is okay. I have a commercial thing. Sometimes they don't shove my trash can all the way in, and it has to be behind a gate. It has to be, Normandy has rules about where your trash can should be. Well, they don't shove it all the way in, and then they don't put the lids down. So the little animals are running in there, and people are just throwing stuff over my fence into my commercial dumpster, which, whatever. But here is the big thing, the billing. Yolanda, what you said, about it's about the billing. So, they do charge a fee if you're late, but if they're sending your bill to the wrong address and you don't get it because their system is screwed up, then they charge you a late fee, and then they charge you to reinstate because you're never getting your bills. And so I have been fighting with them ever since I finally went to direct online bill pay, and I still don't get my bills. But whatever, I'm paid. So, so I would say watch that with Republic Services. Let's see, there was something else. Wait, let me see if I made a note somewhere else. Oh, yeah. Okay, about the St. Louis County apartments that are going in. Oh, I don't know if they're going in, but they had a hearing on the St. Louis County meeting last night about the apartments on Hanley. I thought it was a Zoom meeting. I tried to zoom in. No, they posted a day later on YouTube. So if you want to hear what went on with that meeting, I think by today you should be able to pull up that meeting on YouTube and find out what was really said and what, if they're going to decide to do something with that. But I think it is something that we need to think about. It's supposed to be affordable housing, because we can't say low income anymore. So it's affordable housing and 4 bedrooms. I think that's kind of cool. Gated community. I'd really like to see what that really is, because it is on our border and it will impact us. Is that student housing? So I would encourage every single one of you to get on that YouTube website and find out what is really going in. I just didn't have a time to do it today, and find out what's really going in, because it will affect our community. I mean, it's just like right next door to us. So that was the only other comments that I had. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Behind the gas station.
Hello, everyone. Quick story time. Mark, you're gonna love this. It may give you a bad flashback, but I'm gonna come on. A few years ago, Mark literally hadn't been in office for a month, and he was frantic because it was a trash pickup day. Normandy still had the trash, and Maurice or whoever hadn't paid the bill, so we couldn't drop off trash. I remember calling Mark. I got the ladies in the office working on it. Mark has the ladies in the office make a flyer, and he has the gentleman in Public Works go around and get everybody flyers. So we're gonna come tomorrow. We got an issue. We're gonna come tomorrow. People understood. You know why they understood? Because we communicated with them. I just want to mention that to give a flashback. I think Chief Saunders talked about the new dispatch number. I don't think we knew that. I've got a flyer from years ago with updates. It didn't have 636, so that's changed since then. So I just want to remind everybody, it's really important, or even with the whole picking up limbs thing. Communicate, and then communicate again. Just like you're in a partnership with your partner, your spouse, your whoever. I don't know what ward this is here, but I was just talking to the chief about that great program. People don't know about it. And that's sad that they did all their work for our city and nobody showed up. So I just told her, I'm saying after she's gonna give me flyers, I'm gonna get with my bad back having ass and walk around my neighborhood and pass the flyers out, because it's a great program, but people don't know because it's not being communicated to them. So I just wanted to say that. Especially with the dispatch number, I don't think people know about that, so we do need to give residents, and when we do that trash, I'll even volunteer for my ward to go put a flyer on people's door. I don't know why they don't look in there. We got a lot of people renting that didn't do occupancy checks, and they don't give a damn. Also, with Sanders, a meeting or two ago, I mentioned about the police not coming over. I just wanted to say out loud to put it on record what I just told you. I've seen the gentleman coming around more. My alarm is going off. I even have one officer, I don't know his name. He's like, every time I come around, you're watering your plants. I'm like, I'm supposed to. So I just wanted to say that, you know, something positive did notice that. And again, when I talk about the beautification that I'm willing to help with on the plants, I don't know what ward that is, and I'm willing to help. So I just want to impart that to everybody. It's not just your ward, and it's not just Natural Bridge, but that is really important. So I want to make sure that everybody is aware of that. Quick question. I don't know if you guys can answer this. It sounds like Republic is kind of predatory a little bit, and if we have low-income people, I don't think that's the best thing, so thanks for bringing it up, Yolanda. Is there any way that we can go back to Waste Management in particular and ask them to make some considerations? Like with some of the things that came up, is there any way to say, hey, we looked at your bid, can you possibly adjust this for us? Is it possible, or is it too late?
Well, I can explain the process. We put out an RFP.
Right.
At this point, we have to choose a provider
Oh,
and
no
then
changes.
negotiate
Okay, after.
after the fact.
Okay, awesome. So I just wanted to bring that
We
up.
can't give somebody an advantage of negotiating before
That's fair.
we choose a provider.
That's fair. I sent a picture earlier today, again, I sent a month ago about that huge pothole that's on Bermuda Road. When we're talking about income for the city, Mark, I know I spoke to you at length several years ago about connects that I have at Starbucks that were willing to put something over here, but they were worried about the communication with the city of Normandy and UMSL. Still have that connect, it'd be great. Just random sidebar, gonna mention it out loud. Normandy, under Mayor Green, took over the old gas station on Bermuda Road. It's got very pretty Normandy signage and tall ass weeds. I would hope that we could possibly look into selling that, something commercial, like mandate that it's commercial, so that we can have some more money coming in, something that people wouldn't want to hang out at in particular. It'd be great for off the highway type of situation to get some commerce coming in here. That'd be great. And then, oh, again, thanks for that hostage situation. I lived in the area where that was blocked off. And again, I love what you said, that I think you're in 3 or 4, but that was 2 and you came over there. That was a nightmare. And for 2 hours, they wouldn't let us back into our homes. So thank you all for finally going, oh, we got people on the side of the highway for 2 hours and letting us into the home. And I'm sorry about what that little girl went through. And yeah, let me know about Natural Bridge. And if we have 3 people, I don't know why they can't come over once a day before it gets scorching hot and just water the plants. That would be awesome. Because these trees across from the post office, they're dying because they're not getting enough water. And I know that we got grant money for those. But just like we need food, they need water. So if we can do those little small things, it'll make a big impact. That's it.
Thank you.
Motion.
Motion to adjourn.
Pardon me, pardon me.
I mean,
Is there
find out if somebody else needs to talk, so.
anybody else?
That's
I
it.
make a motion.
So we have a motion to adjourn. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries, meeting adjourned. Rick, hang on for fun, will you? Well, you want to talk in public, but you don't want to talk in private.
You got closed session? Mark, yeah, closed session.
You don't want to make outrageous claims in public, but you don't want to have a conversation.
Mark, come here. Mark, you okay?
Yeah. Hey, perfect.
The applicants, they kept looking at it.